Okay, Rabotai. Part 2 of 2, fish and dairy. Today's shiur and dinner is sponsored by our very dear member, Helen Berger, in memory of her mother, whose yortzeit is Sunday. And the name is, I put it in the chat. Got it? Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shekol niyah v'lo. V'yelu nishmat. Check the gemara, check.
Okay, I'm looking at the other.
Chana Gittel bat Mordechai. I know the Mordechai part. Is my name. Chana Gittel bat Mordechai. Her neshama should have aliyah. Very, very special Hashu family. And we know that Helen does a lot of good work for the merit of her parents. Okay, guys. No, the first one we did last time. So there's a second one. You see, there's a paper clip, Yoshua. There's a paper clip. Close it. Everyone has a bundle. There's a paper clip. Open the paper clip. We're doing the second bundle today. This is the last part. Okay? So just to recap, if you weren't here last week or if you forgot, we have the Gemara. The Gemara said, if you have fish and meat, it's sakana nefashot. We don't mix fish and meat because it's dangerous. Then we had the Maran Bet Yosef, who says you shouldn't eat fish and dairy because it's dangerous. Where did Maran Bet Yosef get this from? Fish and dairy. It doesn't see it anywhere in the Gemara. And so the Taz and the Shach and the Prisha and Magen Abraham and the Rama, a lot of Mifashim say that it is a Ta'ut Sofer. And really,
dairy is like peanut.
yeah, but maybe they're saying it's Ta'ut Sofer. Really, the Maran Bet Yosef meant to say, so you should not eat basar and dagim, not halab and dagim. It's a mistake. That's what they say. He made a mistake. We had Rabbeinu Bahye was the last thing we did last week. Rabbeinu Bahye said, no, dairy and fish is sakana. Why? Remember this, Rabbeinu Bahye? Why? Because the dairy, the milk comes from blood. Like in a woman's body, Masechet Nida, Gemara says the woman's blood, breast milk was her blood. So Rabbeinu Bahye says it's not for a cow. Rabbeinu Bahye says
ולבשר או לדג צריך אנזים אחר, שבפנים שלא יהיה בלגן.
Yes, what's he saying?
Inside
enzymes in there. Okay.
בבשר יש מיוחד.
Rabbeinu Bahye.
בגלל זה שלא יהיה בעיה עם זה.
Right. This is Rabbeinu Bahye. And he says, al derech pshat, al derech kabbalah, we shouldn't mix. He says the basad, but you're sure. Remember the Rabbeinu Bahye says, basad and dam you cannot eat. Damo b'nafshohu. And so if you eat the basad and you eat the halab, which used to be blood, you're eating the basad with the dam. Remember that Rabbeinu Bahye says, don't do it. Okay. Let's see page 8, which is the first page of the second bundle.
You're not allowed to eat together. But if you eat
together, no problem. Separate, no problem. Dog has no blood. No, we're talking about now the blood of the cow, which became milk. Let's see the Kafahayim. Page 8, on the bottom it says page 8. Kafahayim. Says the Kafahayim. Yesh noagin lito ben givina ledagim. Some people wash their hands between dairy, cheese, and fish. Where they get this from? The Bet Yosef, the same Bet Yosef that says it's a sakana nefashot. Because it's asur because of sakana nefashot. It doesn't say hard or soft. So he says it's the same thing as fish and meat. If you're going to touch the fish with your hands, you should wash your hands. If you're going to touch the fish with your hands on Friday night, you want to wash your hands after that. If you don't touch it with your hands, then you can be okay. Okay? And then he says, look at Masha Katav Magen Abraham. I'm in the fourth line at the end of the Kafahim. Berosh Siman Zeh Techabad Katav Bedarche Moshe Sham the Ta'ut Sofer Bebet Yosef. That the Bet Yosef made a mistake. V'tzrich Umad Dagim Basar. You're young, Sham. Check it out over there. So it's a Ta'ut Sofer. Kebal Yashav Zeh Knesset Kedulai. The Knesset Kedulai answered this claim against Maran Bet Yosef. And he says, I'm skipping the next line. The The doctors say the dagim b'halav or b'gevina, fish with dairy and cheese, yesh hashash sakanat sara'at. It's indeed a sakanat nefashot to get sara'at, leprosy, if someone would eat dairy with fish.
The printer made the mistake? Or
We don't know. We're on the second. Undo the clip, it's the second bundle. That's why he says this to uphold the Bet Yosef's claim. What is this? Bet Lamed Yud. What is this, Sefer? I don't know what Sefer this is. Over there, Od Gimel. אלא שכתב רק בחמאה ושומן שעולה על חלב כבוש אין סכנה. Now we have a new twist, guys. Kaf HaChaim says, I'm over here. I'm on Moshe Shomer. Here, Yoshua. Moshe right here. שעולה על חלב כבוש אין סכנה. So we have a new twist, says the Kaf HaChaim. He says, cream and butter is not a sakana. Milk and cheese is a sakana. Now we have a divide in the types of dairy products. You see what he says over here? Okay. I'm skipping a few lines because he brings a lot of sources. And then he says, which we did last week. Is this real sakana? It's a real danger to have fish with cheese or milk. But with butter and fish, it would be okay, says the Adnepaz. Okay.
So they cook it in the butter you're talking about?
They're differentiating. Okay, well, this is the end of the shiur. We have to understand this. We have to build it. Now I skipped 2 lines. I'm now 5 or 6 lines from the bottom of this Kaf HaChaim. It seems, since this is coming from the medical field, and every land, every atmosphere, every air, every condition of every land is different. Maybe in some places dairy and fish is dangerous, and in some places it's not dangerous. A place where they don't eat fish and dairy, or milk or cheese, they should continue to not eat it, because sakana, it's a very famous line, this in halakha. Hamida sakanta mi isura, like a catchphrase. Sakana is more strict than isurim, than isur ve'eter. If you're in a place where they don't eat fish and dairy, you should also wash your hands between benzilazid. Next Kaf HaChaim, Dalet, on the bottom of page 8, Dalet. You should wash and drink something and wash your mouth out between. So too now, between fish and meat, or meat and fish, doesn't matter which way. It's very strict, so therefore you got to wash your mouth. Or eat bread or something parv in between. If you notice, I'm skipping the sources. This is our custom to be strict. And not like the ones who are lenient. So it's good to have drink, and therefore the best thing to do is between meat and fish, or between fish and meat, if you're touching it, to have the bread and have the drink, both. We'll get to it in a second.
If you touch it, you have to wash your hands.
Touch it, you have to wash your hands. If you don't touch it, you should still have a swish of a drink and something hard.
What if it's like fish sticks?
I still think you should. You should.
In reality, that's why people have fish forks and fish plates. And
that's why we separate like that. Yeah. Let's see the Benish High. No, all for sakana.
The Chachamim are not accepting few of no doctors sources of the Gemara.
The first source we see him is in the Gemara that we read last week. That was the first time.
They all seem to be very adamant.
And I'm going to show you. We'll go with a lot more sources, and we'll show you what they quote medical field. Let's see. Okay, Yoshua, we're on page 9, Benish High, on top. Benish High says, Dagim behalav Mutar afilu midrabanan. Fish and dairy is allowed even for the rabbis. That's a halacha, but not the sakanat halacha. Mihu, however, yesh behem sakanat holi. It's dangerous. Someone might get sick by, God forbid. Therefore, asul le'ochlam, you cannot eat fish and dairy. Ben Ish Chai. So Ben Ish Chai is on the no wagon from a health perspective. And I'm going to read you guys tonight. We're going to go through a lot of sources.
But he doesn't give the source. He just
I'm going to give you sources, and yeah. So mitam halacha, it's allowed. It's not katuv b'Torah. Dagim and halal is asur. So mitam halacha, it's the job of every rabbi to give first the halacha, and then you can give the humrah. So halacha is allowed. Sakana, you shouldn't. We're gonna midrabanan. We're gonna get to this also. We'll do this halacha. I'm going to bring you guys a lot of sources tonight. I'm going to read you from Halakha Bidura, from Halichot Olam, from Mecham Vadia, and it's going to bring a lot of rabbis. I'm going to tell you which city they lived in and what they say they spoke to doctors. And we'll go through each one. We'll see. Let's finish the Ben Ish Chai.
I'm waiting.
Yeah? Yeah. Yeah. Rambam didn't even touch this. Rambam didn't touch this. He doesn't say a word.
he was a doctor.
And that's a very good question. If it was such a big deal, why would the Rambam not say this? 100%. 100%.
Was gam chacham,
Yeah,
gam
great doctor. Let's finish the Ben Ish Chai. Also, fish and cheese is sakana. About dagim cheese. So cheese and milk is a no, according to the Ben Ish Chai. Now here it goes. About dagim b'chema, fish with butter. Yesh minha hanonim shekatvu de'en hashash holi bazir. Some people say fish with butter is okay, like the Kaf Haim said.
But that's also cheese.
V'yesh shekatvu de'ika hashash holi. And some other people say no, it's still hashash holi for butter. So now there's a divide. V'shomed nafsho yilhak v'yizahed. If you care about your soul, you care about your health, you shouldn't have it.
You shouldn't cook the fish in the butter.
You shouldn't, says the Ben Ish Chai. Listen to this, guys. Even the Pahad Yitzhak, Shua Ayaro Fegadol, he was a big doctor. And he himself, from a medical perspective, said no one's going to get hurt by eating fish and dairy. Wow. He still didn't eat it, the doctor. Baghdad.
So he sentenced his patient.
Maybe he didn't like it.
Good. By the way, someone said this. Someone says what he just said. Maybe he didn't like it. Baghdad, here in the town of Baghdad, we don't fry fish in butter. We're afraid of the illness. So the Ben Ish Chai, now the Ben Ish Chai is not the only rabbi in Baghdad. There were other rabbis in Baghdad. This, I'm giving you a sneak of what's coming. There's another rabbi from Baghdad who would argue on him. There's another rabbi that's coming. The Ben Ish Chai says in Baghdad, we don't do it. Nothing. Cheese, dairy, milk, butter, no fish. Halichot Olam. I'm going to show you in a second. I'm going to read it for you. Halichot Olam, you guys should know this by now. We've done this a few times. Halichot Olam is a Chacham Ovadia Sefer on top of the Ben Ish Chai. Let's see what he says. He says, Hine, Maran HaBet Yosef says, he brings everything we just learned. The Maran Bet Yosef says you should not. This I'm reading for you because I didn't scan it. I'm reading from the Pacific now, so just listen to me. He quotes the Ben Ish Chai, who says you should not eat it because it's sakana nefashot, dairy and fish, and he goes through the whole sugya. He brings the Bet Yosef, who says you cannot do it, and then he brings all the Prisha and Drisha and the Shach and the Magen Avraham and the Darkei Moshe, who say it was Ta'ut Sofer. And now he says over here. Each one of these names, I'm going to read for you. The Chinuch Bet Yehuda. He says over here, in the Sefer Chinuch Bet Yehuda, and I wrote who it is, Rav Yaakov Svi Yalish, Warsaw, 1869, Ashkenaz, 1869, writes in the name of the Maharam of Krakow, who was Rabbi Meir ben Gedalia, Lublin, 1558, who says as follows. This that the Bet Yosef said, don't eat dairy and fish. And the rabbi said, no, it's a ta'ut sofed. You should really have, it should really say meat instead of fish. But dairy is going to be allowed. This rabbi, these two rabbis, the Chinuch Bet Yehuda and the Maharam from Krakow, they keep the version of the Bet Yosef. They say it's not a typo, it's not a mistake. They agree that it is sakana. There was a big discussion and debate by the great doctors, and they said, if it's fried in butter, it's okay. But if it's milk, it's dangerous. Butter, not dangerous. Why? Because the nature of the fish, they're very cold. And he says, milk is bad for the body. Does the body good? Wasn't invented back then. Like all the doctors know. And so therefore, you can't mix the milk, the coldness of milk, and the coldness of blood, of fish, to have it at the same time. In the Sefer Bet Lechem Yehuda, quoting, no, this is not the Chacham Yehuda is quoting these sources. This is the Chinuch Bet Yehuda.
So you read the Chinuch Bet Yehuda.
I'm reading inside the Chacham Yehuda all these sources. Chinuch Bet Yehuda, in the name of the Maharam of Krakow. This is his opinion. Next on the list.
Ashkenaz.
Ashkenaz.
They say no.
No.
But, well.
Bet Lechem Yehuda. Yeah.
No, how much of a separation do they get into?
What, like how much? Like 6 hours and stuff?
Well, right. Is there anybody that says, okay, don't eat it together, but
Fish and dairy, no. There's no.
Even fish and fish.
The most they say is the same. The
Wash
most
or
they,
eat bread.
right, the fish and meat. The most they say is it have the same halakha as fish and meat.
Yeah, but I'm saying if a fish and meat, which is supposed to be the stricter according
We
to the
wash our mouths
sources,
and we eat bread.
then obviously on fish and milk
100%.
they'll
That's
be
the
much
most
more
of them.
lenient.
How the Ashkenazi?
What page are you on?
It's the same page, but
It doesn't look like the same page.
לא, רגע, בראש, איך אשכנזים אוכלים?
Okay, so this actually we got to see.
לצערנו הרב, הרבה מאחינו המרוקאים,
We have no Moroccans in this shul, so we're saying, hold it, yeah. Let me just tell him. It's going spoiled? That's not what they say. It's an interesting.
milk and fish anyway. You want page 10, no?
Page 9. Could be. It could be. I didn't see anyone say what you're saying now. It's an interesting thought. I didn't see any posek say what you're saying. Yoshua, we're going through all the Hachamim now, page 9. What I just told you was Ashkenazim. The Chinuch Bet Yehuda and the Maharam from Krakow say, don't do it. But they say butter is okay. Next one. Bet Lechem Yehuda. Who's this? Rabbi Tzvi Hirsch Lamport from Belarus, 1835. Belarus. Sorry, Belarus.
About the same time as Bet Yehuda.
Belarus. Yeah. If it's in Europe, I don't know how, I'm not going to pronounce it. What does he say? The expert doctors said that it's dangerous to eat. So European doctors they're talking to. Uh-oh. Interesting. Like a secular article.
Secular inflammation because of the proteins and calcium. And
Why did I know you would look up Google? So there's another rabbi from Belarus who says, don't do it. Next one. The great doctor and rabbi Harav Yaakov Sahalon. What does I say? What did I write over here? Italy, 1630. Sfaradi. He writes, She'en le'echol dagim lo im halav v'lo im basar mepnei shemolid holaim kashim. He says, no fish with dairy or meat, it can cause horrible sicknesses. This is a doctor and a rabbi, he was. Rabbi Doctor Yaakov Sahalon. Next one. The Knesset HaGedolah, Rabbi Chaim Ben Benishti, Italy, 1791. He writes in the name of the Shaarey Yehuda, who was, I wrote over here on the page, you can see. Rabbi Yehuda Lev of Yanovich, he was the brother of the Baal Tanya, so the Chabad leader, he was his brother. So Vilna, 1745. He says, he heard from his doctors, you can get leprosy from fish and dairy. Another Ashkenaz one. In the Sefer Adnei Paz was Rabbi Ephraim ben Shmuel Danvil Hakasher, Altona, Italy, right? No, Greece or Italy? Where's Altona? Where is that? Yes.
Athens.
Greece.
Athens.
That's what I thought. Greece, 1743. He says, אף בדיעבד יש לאסור דגים שנתפשטו בחלב משום דחמיר לסכנתא מייסורא. Very strict. Even by act, you already did it. I have to throw it away. I already fried the fish in butter. He says, throw it away. According to my humble opinion, it is very strict. To say you already did it, you have to throw it away. Okay, next one. Uh-oh. Now he brings it over here, the Pahad Yitzhak. The Pahad Yitzhak says, hold on. Yeah, it's not him. But you're right. Here, the Gaon Harofeh, the great Gaon and doctor, Rabbi Yitzhak Lampertin, the Sefer Pahad Yitzhak, Italy, says, Kol Yamai, he's testifying about his youth in Italy. Kol Yamai Gadati ben Hachamim v'zeknei Refuah. My whole life I grew up under rabbis and doctors. V'lo masati sa'ad למה שכתב הרב שארית יהודה בשם הרופאים שיש סכנת באכילת דגים מחלב. I never heard one expert say you're going to get sick from eating fish and dairy. ואף שיש באמת סכנת חולי גדול וכבד מאוד עד מוות למי ששותה חלב ממש ואחד כך דגים. He says, even though I agree there's a deathly, God forbid, a deathly illness that can come if someone drinks straight milk and then has fish, which could be what you're talking about, or he eats fish, and he drinks straight milk. But if you're eating fish in butter, or begivina, or with cheese, I didn't see anyone say it's sakana nefesh.
From Greece?
Greece.
I think because the chema, how you make chema?
Good question. It's the cream. It's the cream. So very good. So I want to talk about this. But yeah. That's what Mordechai. That's what Mordechai is saying. That's what Mordechai. That's what you're saying. Hold this for 5 minutes. Hold it for 5 minutes. Pasteurization. It's a good thought.
Because maybe all of them are pasteurization and they're just
some of them are way up.
The late 1800s with their own name.
Let's continue, guys. We're going to talk about this. Not pasteurization, but we'll talk about what he said. Says this rabbi from Greece. I grew up with doctors, they said there's nothing wrong. However, the king, Maran Bet Yosef, the king said not to. Menati, how do you pronounce this word? Manati, I held back. Manati mitoch beti achilat dagim im givina o im chema. I don't let my family do it because the Melech, king, the Bet Yosef said no. The answer is no. In the next one we have the Bet David, Rabbi Zev Wolf Leiter, Ukraine, 1891. He says, שנראה לו שטעמו של מרן בית יוסף, משום שכשם שבשר דגים יש לכאן צרעת, שהבשר מן הבהמה שנבראת ביבשה. He says, why is meat and fish sakana? Because the behema, the animal, was created on the dry land, והדגים שנבראו בים, and the fish are created on the water. So you're mixing land and water. ולכן תערבותם, the mixture of land creatures and water creatures, מביאה לידי סכנה, leads to danger. ככה חלב, so too milk, שיוצא מגוף הבהמה, which comes from an animal which is a dry land creature, It's like a dry land animal. Mixing dry creatures with wet creatures can bring sar'at. That's what he says. Who is this? Rabbi Leiter from Ukraine, 1891. Next one. The Hida. Achin. Marana Hida, one of the greatest Faradi rabbis of the past few hundred years. Who was born where? Don't look in the paper. No, he was not born in Morocco. He was born in Jerusalem. What does the Hida say? The Moroccans take him as one of their own, but he wasn't born there. He says, according to my opinion, we have to say, like the Turei Zahav said, that it's a problem and a mistake in the book. No way Maran Bet Yosef meant to say fish and dairy. It says the Hida. It's a mistake. Really, it should say fish and meat. That's the halakha, the other siman Orah Hayim, which we did last week. This that those people are sticking up for the Bet Yosef and defending it and saying, no, really, dairy and fish should not be allowed. What kind of a dohak is this to answer and say it's really dangerous to have fish and dairy, says the Hida. It's a stretch. It's a brand new thing we've never heard. The doctors say it's sakana. Why didn't Maran say anything? He just said, don't do it. He should have explained. In the Shulchan Aruch halachot, he doesn't bring any of this. Only this one place in Bet Yosef, like we said last week. That's what the Hida writes. So the Hida is on the team that's allowing dairy and fish, and that's a heavy hitter to have.
But he's talking about the Bet Yosef, while the other ones are holding, so to speak, independent
They're
opinions.
defending him. Yeah,
they're sharing their so-called
yeah, but you know what? If
experience.
the Bet Yosef didn't write that, I don't think anyone would have any opinion about it, honestly.
All trying to find reasons.
Yeah.
For it.
That's what it seems like. Aruch HaShulchan. Rabbi Epstein. The Aruch HaShulchan says, hold on, is that next? Oh, the Bet David. וחזות יש לזקק על מה שכתב פשוט בית דוד וטעמו של מרן. I really don't like what the people who defended him. ולי ההדיוט, and me, the simple person, כל זה איננו שווה לי בכל עת אשר אני רואה. He took that line from where? Anyone know?
בלי האידיוט.
Where did he get this pasuk from? כל זה איננו שווה לי בכל עת אשר אני רואה. Megillah. Yeah, he took it from Megillah. Haman said, as long as I see Mordechai, nothing's worth it to me. So he says, all these reasons they give are ena shoveli, they mean nothing to me. He didn't bring, Maran Bet Yosef didn't say the same thing, Shulchan Aruch. I don't care what anyone says the Hida. He should have explained himself and he did not. Why would he not write this in Shulchan Aruch? The Taz must be right, and it's a mistake in the book. Okay.
Bet Yosef.
In the Bet Yosef, yeah. Let's go to Rabbi Epstein. Okay, let me skip over here. The Aruch HaShulchan. Yeah. The Aruch HaShulchan, Ashkenaz, right? Great rabbi, Rabbi Yechiel Michal Epstein, Lithuania, 1829. He writes, שרק באכילת דגים בגבינה יש לחוש לדברי רבנו בחיי בשם אלוהים. Only cheese and fish would be a problem. גבינה, cheese, according to רבנו בחיי. אבל באכילת דגים בחלב, but straight milk with fish, המנהג פשוט אצלם מהתיר. It's allowed. And so we have so many different opinions. Some people say no dairy. Some people say only cheese. Some people say only butter. Some people say no milk. It's very, very divided. Yeah. If you're eating one bite and then one bite, no problem. Yeah, that's no problem. Together is this whole question. If you eat them separate, no problem. The whole question is together. Biyad Ephraim over here, Ephraim Zaman Malkoliyot, Ukraine, 1762. What does he say? Sheberov Medinot Ashkenaz. In most of the Ashkenaz countries, Lo nagu la'akpid ba'achilat dagim mehalav. Nobody cares about if you eat fish and dairy or not. Go ahead and eat it. Says most of the countries in Ashkenaz. And also on the B'tchei Teshuvah, Abraham Hirsch, Eisenstadt, Kovno, 1812. These days, everyone does it. Mishtashari, it's already allowed now. Hashem protects the fools. So even if we shouldn't be doing it, everyone's doing it. Halas, it's over. The whole hashash is over. Just do it. Okay, next page.
So that's Ashkenaz.
Ashkenaz, yeah. Ashkenaz.
You should know just for what it's worth. All those read by 1820, 1840, 1860. It's before pasteurization.
When did pasteurization?
1860.
Some of them.
Louis Pasteur discovered it, and I don't even know if they were using it by then. It just started.
The Bet David was 1891. The Bet David was 1891.
Only here, no, in America.
No,
Everywhere.
it was French. Louis Pasteur was French.
Let's see. The Bet David is 1891, so he's later, but good point. Okay, we have over here the Rav Pa'alim, which is written by the Ben Ish Hai. And the Ben Ish Hai, who says you should not.
We already did last year, David.
No, we didn't do these two yet. Mekom says a comment here. I'm reading from my book over here. Beinyan Hemaim Dagim, regarding butter with fish. There are a lot of, as we see, a lot of poskim who say butter and fish is not a problem at all. A lot of people say all dairy and fish is not a problem. So they would also agree butter is allowed.
For cooking, you're saying cooking butter with the fish.
Yeah. Oh, I put it over here. Perfect. Let's read it together. Look, it's on page 10, guys. Moshe, I have it inside over here for you.
Okay.
This part I pasted. Butter with fish. So many people allow this. Like we said, in the name of the Maharam Krakow, there's no problem with butter and fish. And also the Sefer Bethlehem Yehuda, like I already told you, and the Adnei Paz, I already told you, and the Pri Megadim, and the Yad Yehuda, I told you all these. Second paragraph on page 10. Gam Hagaon Abi David de Boton, the Sefer Yad David, and I put in English what that is. He was in Salonika in 1859. Katav Shemichivan Shemei Karadin Lefilut Da'at Rabba Hanonim. According to most of the Hanonim, and Yesod Mutzak Yesod Digim Halav, there is no basis really to make fish and dairy forbidden. Even though the Bet David is strict and says you shouldn't do anything. The Pachad Yitzhak, remember, he said he grew up his whole life with doctors, but he still doesn't do it. At least butter. So many poskim hold butter is okay. Therefore, he says that David de Boton from Salonika, I think he was.
Salonika,
yeah. Salonika, he says butter is fine.
Who wrote it in
Greece. Sibhei Sedek is, look what I wrote there, guys. Sibhei Sedek. Look on the top, on the 2 lines under the word butter on the top of the page. Rabbi Abdallah Somer,
brother-in-law,
teacher of the Ben Ish Hai.
So he's completely opposite from Ben Ish Hai. Ben Ish Hai says we never did that. He's sarcastic.
That's why I wrote that.
There's no in the middle.
That's why I put this over you. Rabbi Abdallah Somech, who was a teacher, and then he married his sister. So he was massive hakam. So the Ben Ish Hai, remember what the Ben Ish Hai said? In Baghdad, no one does it.
Yeah, and he does. He says it's a minhag. We do it.
In Baghdad, we fry the fish in butter. Yes, I know. In the Ben Ish Hai Sefer, Rav Pa'alim כתב שמכיוון שמרן עשית דגים חלב והודע על כמה חלבים חלב לאו דווקא שהוא הדין לדגים לגמילה, אם כן אין חילוק בין גמילה לחמאה, Yes, I know that Ben Ish Chai said don't do dairy and fish, basically. The Ben Ish Chai says that they don't do this in Baghdad. Only the Goyim do it, says the Ben Ish Chai. Yes, I know that in some places where they can't get oil, sesame oil for cooking, they use butter instead. Says the Ben Ish Chai, don't rely on what these peasants are doing just because they can't afford oil. Says the Ben Ish Chai, someone in my town wants to eat fish with butter, we have to oppose this. No fish and butter in Baghdad, says the Ben Ish Chai. And Zibhai Sebek, his brother-in-law from Baghdad, is quoting this, and then he says, Abal Agaon, you want to read?
I'm just thinking, it's not like all the food in Baghdad is so healthy.
Read, Abal Agaon.
cholesterol.
Abal Agaon.
אבל הגאון רבי עבדאללה סומך בשאלות ותשובות זבחי צדק חלק ג' סימן קמ"ג כתב להשיב על דברי הגאון רבי יוסף חיים. So the Rabbi Abdallah, he answered to Rabbi Yosef Chaim, על פי מה שכתב להקל בזה, הרב יד דוד הנ"ל.
Like we said before.
כן.
והוסיף,
שהרי מרן החידה, במחזיק ברכה,
so he's got the Hida on his side. So
he's getting the Hida on his side.
The great Hida. The Hida was a great Gaon.
They got all these scubas and they're arguing.
Shaddad Narga, you know what that means? Shaddad Narga, he threw an arrow in Aramaic. In the words of the Knesset Gedolah, and all those people saying it's Asud, I'm throwing arrows at you. I have him on the list. He was Faradi. I think it was Italian. Where is it?
With one person, it's not.
Yeah, they're all like this.
It's Rabbi Chaim Ben Benishti, Italy. There's one person. It's not the Ashek. It's the name of his epic. Otherwise, that would be like a checkmate. Okay, next. Is there an empty page in your booklet next? A blank page?
Yes.
Wow. Someone has to fill that in. Write something. Let's skip to after the blank page. V'nimsa, V'nimsa comes out. Shekol ikari sudagim halav huapi yesod ra'ua. He says, the Rabbi Abdallah Somech, this whole fish and dairy thing is very shaky. Very shaky.
Very fishy.
Very fishy. According to the Hida, which we go after the Hida, the great Hida. You know what it says in the Sefer Ned Mitzvah about the Hida? As follows. The Habibim alai divrei gaon ozen wahida. How dear are us the words of the great Hida. Ki lididi hazili dehave kehad min kamiya hayoshivim b'lishonah b'mechut shamayim. To me, in my opinion, says the Sefer Ned Mitzvah, the Hida is one of the like Hall of Fame. He's sitting in the kingdom of heaven. This famous thing they say about Rambam, from Moshe till Moshe, there was no Moshe. So too, from Yosef to Yosef, there's no Yosef. What does this mean? Kilomar, Mimaran ben Yosef Cairo, Ad ben Yosef Azulai, Lo Kam Ki Yosef, the Hida. It'll be Hayim Yosef David Azulai. It's the Hida. He taught in Morocco, but he was born in Jerusalem. He traveled all over the place. He was born in Jerusalem, that's all. But he was from Moroccan family. You know how many Sefarim he wrote? The Hida wrote zillions of Sefarim. All these praises about the great Hida. Now, we don't follow the Hida. Some people do. There's a Hida shul around here, but we don't follow the Hida every single. But the Hida was big, and the Hida says it's nothing. There's a typo. My father, Rabbi Moshe, never veered off of the. For us, the Hida is just like Maran Shulchan Aruch, very strong. יש לנו סניף גדול לסמוך להקל על הרב יד דוד ולעתיד דגים מתוגנת בחמאה. Therefore, based on all of this, at least for butter, you for sure can be lenient, at least for butter.
But we never had it.
The whole thing is shaky. This is what Ezra said.
All in favor of it.
Yeah, but listen to what Ezra said, I think. I think that's what he said now. You're right. In our house, we never had fish and dairy. Most of the families in Baghdad don't have fish and dairy. Maybe they don't like how it tastes or how it smells. He said this 10 minutes ago. There are people in Baghdad, he says, eating fish with butter.
אולי בגלל שהוא מתבשל ביחד, זה דבר אחר. It's not like it cheese with the what they call lax. It's maybe
But Yoshua, if it's dairy is a sakana of the fish, the yahat should be even more dangerous. It's soaking in butter.
No, but it's cooking.
Some people say
Different. Loses its.
Yeah. Why would Hema be beseded? His reason was good. Mordechai's reason is good. And he said because it's cooked, it's not raw. He said go for it. What are we up to here? Let's finish it.
מלא דגים מהפירה בחידקל, שם היה להם.
Euphrates River. Yeah, they have to.
דגים שם.
Let's finish the words of Chacham. Guys, don't forget, Chacham Vadia is writing all of this. So after the quotes, he's going to say something. וכן היה נוהג להגיע הרב גאון רבי שלום ישראל נוריאל, וכן העיד לנו שדר דקק, that's the rabbis of קהל קדוש צפת, תתבונן ותקונן, שבכל ערי האשכנז נוהגים להקל. All the Ashkenazim, he says, allow it. וכן מנהג רבינו האשכנזים בצפת, even in צפת.
אמרנו שדר זה קריאה קדושה צפת, תתבונן ותקטן.
כן, תתבונן ותקונן, כן. זה מה שאמרתי.
שדר זה, you know what is שדר.
No.
שדר זה שהולכים בן אדם לאסוף צדקה.
Shiluchim?
שהיו אז בזמנו, קראו לו שדר.
So I didn't know Shadar, but I knew the other things. לכן, אנשי עיר Bombay, the people who live in Bombay, שנוהגים להקל בזה, יישארו במנהגם, that they are lenient, let them keep being lenient and eat the fish and the dairy. וכן כל אחד ואחד יעשה כמנהגו בזה. Just keep your custom. ואפשר שגם הרב הגאון רבי יוסף חיים, he says, this is not a Chacham, this is stored by Somech. Now this part I have a hard time with because they lived during the same time.
It's going to tell you when he does. You don't have a custom.
But he says, "Be'efshar shegam harav haggaon Rabbi Yosef Chaim ben Ish Chai." Maybe if he saw the words of the Yad David, he would never argue with it. The Yad David, it's on the no, it's not the Hiddah. No. It's on my list. That's why I wrote all the rabbis' names. I knew this would happen. Yad David is. Rabbi David ben Boton from Salonika. Ad kan tochen debarav. That's the end. Says the Chacham Vadia, וכן כתב בספר כף החיים, like we already read, להקל בחמאה עם דגים. That butter is okay. Says the Chacham Vadia, 3 magical words. וכן עיקר להלכה. Says the Chacham Vadia, the bottom line halacha, says the Chacham Vadia, butter is okay with fish.
But he doesn't speak about
But he doesn't speak.
Dairy and cheese, you shouldn't.
But the cheese.
What he says, dairy and cheese, you shouldn't?
Says the Chacham Vadia, listen to the Chacham Vadia. Yesh lihimana. Is that how you pronounce it? Or lihimana? Yesh lihimana mele'echod dagim b'halav or im givina mishum hashar sakana. You should not eat fish with cheese or milk because of the danger. V'im b'ta'ut n'pashilu dagim b'halav. If it's already happened in the mix, im esor, don't throw it out. Even if it's not batil b'shishim, don't waste the food based on this. If your custom is to have, he says, is to have butter with fish, you may keep your custom and eat the butter with the fish. And those who come from Ashkenaz, they're lenient in all of this, especially
But he said before that there's no problem with cooking the fish in the butter.
I know, but he's saying it'll be on the top. He says if it's your custom. So really, it sounds like you should keep your custom. If you don't have a custom,
Then
butter you should do. But hold on. I want to talk about this. I want to have a discussion about that. 1 second. Right now, I want to get into that, but we have 3 things: milk, cheese, and right now butter. Those 3 things: milk and cheese and butter. Ashkenazim, even though a lot of Ashkenazim said no, but most Ashkenazim now, they don't even keep this. Milk, cheese, butter, go for it with fish. Sfaradim, a lot of Sfaradim, the Hida said, all 3 is okay.
no problem.
Rabbeinu Bahye said, no, don't do it. But the butter is okay. Chavadia says, really, if you're Sfaradi, try to keep the fish away from the cheese and the milk. Most of the poskim are more strict on the milk, on the raw milk. Could be what Mordechai said, because it's not pasteurized, or we're used to it. It's not cooked. Butter, if it's your custom, go for it. That's what he says. If you don't have a custom, eat the butter and the fish. So far, so good?
Yes.
Let's turn to more halakha l'maaseh. חשש סכנה.
אתה יכול להפיס את ההלכה הזו ולשלוח לחתן שלי.
Yeah, it said the shiur.
הוא שותה חלב. במקום להגיד לשתות מים, הוא שותה חלב.
גם אני, I also do. I love
הוא
it.
הולך לפיש, תפס גג כזה.
Son-in-law does it. He wants me to convince his son-in-law to stop. Page 12. Ashkenazi or Sfaradi? Ashkenazi. Yeshua. This is why you marry your daughter to Sfaradi. No, that's okay. Okay, page 12. We're going to do just halakha, guys. From here on is the only halakha l'maaseh. But first I have a kafa hayim. There is no Ramah because it's not in Shulchan Aruch.
Right.
It's not Shulchan, but the Darchei Moshe, written by the Ramah, said it was a typo. Remember?
Yeah.
That's the
So
Ramah.
that's why it's matirim.
Yes.
This whole thing is because of the typo.
We don't know if it was a typo or not. It's a question. Was it a typo?
Well, he really meant to say.
Yeah, we don't know.
There's no source before that.
No.
No, but when they say it's a typo, it's the guy who printed the book.
We don't know.
Or-
Maybe the Malam B'Yosef wrote the word wrong word, or maybe the printer. I don't know. We don't know.
I think they would go back to the
I would love the earliest version of the Bet Yosef and see what it says. I would love to find that if we can.
But don't forget that we know that Gemara, and the Gemara speaks about Basar, and it does not talk about, so that it kind of supports the typo.
Yes.
Concept.
Yes.
Right.
We have the Gemara, we have the source.
Yeah. Yeah. 100%. The
we have
Gemara.
the source.
But most Sephardim
And it comes
rabbis,
down to do with this.
Where's the source?
but most Sephardim rabbis hold like this.
I
They shouldn't
think-
have it.
Listen, I think Yossi's on a good track. What do doctors say? Secular doctors. Is it a
That's
thing?
the reason.
Is it a thing? Because all these rabbis are saying they asked their doctors, and the doctor said, "Yeah, it's dangerous." Rabbeinu Bahya said it's dangerous.
It says it because you mentioned it because.
Get the Ayurvedic,
The what? Really? They don't do what?
milk and fish together.
Are you really?
Ayurvedic medicine.
Native American?
No.
These people in. Oh, that's why I said Bombay.
Well, it's Ayurvedic, the Indian medicine.
Okay, you hear what Ezra over here says?
So these,
Guys, Ezra over here is saying that in India they don't do dairy and fish,
they don't do milk and fish.
milk and fish in India.
He said in Bombay they do.
They said in Bombay they do. Yeah.
We have just read Bombay, yes.
Ayurvedic medicine, they say.
Oh, you're talking about India.
India.
This is that Iraqi Jews is living in Bombay.
Guys, let's do this. I want to do this. I want to do 5 minutes finishing halakha l'maaseh. 5 minutes. I want to have a discussion about cream cheese, and we need help over here, and then we wrap it up. Let's do halakha, okay? Kafahim, page 12. Kafahim, page 12. ולאכול דגים בחלב אין בו סכנה כל כך חטז, רבנו בחיה, which already read, כתב שסכנה לבשל דגים בחלב, we already did this, okay? ולפי מה ששמעתי מהרופאים, you see this? Kafahim, halfway down the first Kafahim on page 12. ולפי מה ששמעתי מרופאים מומחים, what I heard from my expert doctors, שבאמת דגים בחלב ממש הוא סכנה. Real milk with fish is sakana. Aba b'chema, butter, or b'shuman, or cream. She'oleh al halav kabush in b'hem sakana. That's okay. And so we see over here the Kaf Ha'im says, like Achim Vadia says, butter is not going to be a problem. Let's skip this one. Let's skip this to page 13. Let's do some halakha l'maaseh. Page 13, guys. This is the final halakha.
About cooking the butter, the fish.
Eating, cooking, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
What?
Anything. Okay, guys. Bottom line halakha. You ready? Huh? I want to do halakha l'maaseh. Let's do halakha l'maaseh. Page 13, this is the final halakha according to Chachamim Yosef. It says, like we know, do not cook the calf with milk. You cannot cook meat and milk, eat meat and milk, sell meat and milk.
Cooking.
It's what it says in the Torah, and the rabbis expanded
If
it.
you ate a cheeseburger, but let's say you took cheese and put it on the meat, that would be the Rabbanan.
Rabbanan, yes. Gimel. לא אסרו חכמים כבישה ומניחה בבשר בחלב אלא באכילה. אבל מותרים בהנאה. Only the cooking is forbidden in benefit, but nothing else is forbidden in benefit. ולפיכך, בשר שנפל לתוך חלב ושתיים 24 שעות. If meat and milk mixed in together, not hot, not cooked, just meat and milk touching for 24 hours, so it got pickled together, you would say. או שנתן בשר וגבינה בתוך...
Talking about in the Malevela.
Yes.
Melecha.
Yes. Or shenatan basar or gibina betoch mayim sunanim. Or you put milk and meat in the same bucket of water, cold water. And it lasted there 24 hours to like pickle together. You can sell that to the goyim because you didn't cook it together. Next one, because we don't have time. Asur lebashel lamed bet. Asur lebashel basar behalav afilu shemibashel esorech goy. Like we said last week, you cannot cook meat and milk even for a non-Jew, or or to give to a dog. ואפילו אם משליכים אחר כך. ולכן, מפעלים המכינים אוכל עבור בעלי חיים, if it's your job to make dog food, יש להם להקפיש לא לבשל בשר וחלב יחד. You can't be the guy cooking the meat and the milk together. אבל מותר להם לבשל נבלות וטרפות וחזיר. You can cook all the not kosher meat, no problem. Okay, next one. פרק ג' אין לאכול בשר ודגים ביחד. You cannot eat meat and fish together. משום שקשה לצרעת, because God forbid leprosy. ואם תגנו דגים יחד עם בשר במחבת אחת, if you fried in one pan fish and meat, גם הדגים וגם בשר נאסרו באכילה, you cannot eat it. Okay, next one. יש להימה נע. לאכול דגים מחלב. You should not eat, who wrote this, guys? חכם יצחק יוסף. You should not eat fish and milk. או עם גבינה and fish and cheese. משום חשש סכנה. הלכה. cheese and milk. ויוצאי אשכנזים נוהגים לקו הזה, are lenient. ויש להם מה שיסמוכו, they have plenty to rely on. ונערה ופשטיה, each place has their own thing. ורבנות הנותנת כהכשר למסעדה המגישה מאכלי גמילה ודגים, if there's a restaurant that gives a kosher supervision for fish and dairy, צריך שיכתבו מודעה של עניין זה, אין לספרדים מיהדות מזרח הקהל, they should write, this is not for ספרדים. ספרדים, מרן בית יוסף, we don't mix fish and cheese, fish and milk. מותר לטגן דגים בחמאה, but you can fry fish and butter. שדי לנו להחמיד בחלב ודגים, it's enough already to be strict with the fish and the milk. והבו דלא להוסיף עלה, don't add more to it. So the butter is going to be okay.
But the Misada, it's a little bit strange because their whole argument is don't eat it together. It's not the Oraita, it's not like a chod basar b'chalav. So all of a sudden, so Sephardi walks into a Misada. They have fish, they have this.
He's saying that the kosher supervision should make sure that he knows it's not for him to eat.
Because maybe they cooked it together. But if they don't cook it together, he can sit down and eat.
No, it's not taref. He's just saying they shouldn't order this item on the menu. They should say not for Sephardim. Okay. Dagim she'avru b'shtilu otam b'halav. Let's say you already cooked the fish with dairy, with milk, or givina, or cheese. It doesn't mean you have to throw in the garbage. It's enough to be strict, preferably, but we're not going to make you throw away something you already did. Turn the page. You cook meat and milk together. Asur litno b'matana legoy. You may not give it as a gift to a non-Jew. That's having benefit. Even a stranger. You can't feed it to the dog. ויש אומרים שאסור ליתן את התבשיל אף לכלב של הפקר. Some people say even a stray dog in the street, not your dog, any dog, you shouldn't give it to. אף שאין לו הנאה ישירה מהבשר והחלב. Who cares if I give a stray dog this dish? וכן אסור להשליך תערובת זו לנהר או לים שיש בו דגים. You can't go feed it to the fish. Can have benefit. לתערובת בשר וחלב צריך שלא ייהנה ממנה שום בריאה. No one is allowed to have benefit from cooking meat and milk.
What happens if it happens? What do you do with it?
We're going to say in a second. ויש חוקים ואומרים שדווקא לגבי חמץ החמינו שלא תנועה וכלב ולא כלב. Some people say, nah, that's only for חמץ, that you shouldn't feed the dogs in the street. מה שאין כן בשאר יצורים, but this is okay to feed to a dog on the street. והעיקר לדינה במין הלכה שגם בשאר ישראל הנאה אסור ליתן לכלב של הפקר. No, you cannot feed the meat and milk to a stray dog. ומכל מקום, אם הוא בגדר ספק אם הבשר והחלב נעשו בהנאה, if we're not sure if it was cooked, then fine. Next הלכה. מי שנזדמן לו נבלה או טרפה. Someone who has a not kosher piece of meat. ונושא לבשילה כדי לגוי, and you want to cook it to sell it, אין בזה איסור, no problem. You can cook not kosher meat. ואפילו בשר חזיר, you can cook pig if you want. שלא עשתה תורה בישול אלא בבשר וחלב. The only thing you can cook is meat and milk. Okay. Yeah, the kilim, obviously, you don't use your dishes for the pig. Next halakha. מי שמצבו הכלכלי דחוק ביותר. Someone has no money. ואין לו מקור, he has very little money. He has a very tough time. ואין לו מקור פרנסה אחר. He has no other source of income. יש להטיל לו לעבוד כטבח במסעדה של גויים. Let him take a job in a not kosher restaurant. ולבשם להם נבלות וטרפות. Let him cook the not kosher meat. באופן שיזדהר מלטעום מהתבשילים, but you can't taste anything. וכן יזדהר שלא לבשל בשר בקצה חלבי פדומה, or you shouldn't cook meat in dairy dishes and all the other things.
Can you serve it?
Yeah, you can
There's
serve
no
it.
issue on serving.
You can serve it. Next one. בשר בחלב, למד חטא. בשר בחלב שנפשלו יחדיו, meat and milk that was cooked together, צריך לקורבן. What do you do with them? You have to bury them. או להשליחם לבית הכיסא, or put them down the toilet, because you cannot benefit. ולא ייתנם לגוי אפילו בחינם. וכן אסור להכינם אפילו לכלב של הפקר, ואם שרפו, if you burn the food, גם אפרו או אפרו. אפרו, the ashes, אפרו, not with the ayin, aleph. The ashes, אסור בהנאה מן התורה. You cannot benefit from the ashes.
Wait a second. בשר וחלב שבשלו ביחד, if he cooked it, if somebody else cooked it,
It's בשר בחלב, ביחד. You cannot have benefit from it.
You can't sell
he can't sell it, he can't do anything, but
You gotta,
he can't give it even for free.
no, you have to throw in the garbage or burn it or put it down the toilet or bury it. Okay. בשר בחלב, מ"ד. אסור לאוכלן אפילו שלא כדרך אכילתן. You can't eat them even if it's not a normal way of eating. Usually, eating means eating with your mouth. But this is different. ולכן, אין להקל לחולה שאין בו סכנה לקחת תרופות העשויות מתערובת בשר בחלב. A sick person who is not in danger, he can't take medicine that has milk and meat.
You think it will affect them?
It's asur.
That's
אפילו, yeah.
טמטום הנפש.
ואם התערובת נפגמה מהאכילה, קודם שיראו דוכן שמיים, if they made the dish non-edible and then added the dairy and meat to it, it'll be okay because it's not food. בשר בהמה טמאה מותר מן הטוב. We know this already. We did this last week.
where you see רפואה שכתוב לה מה זה, מה מכיל.
What's the ingredients?
Yeah.
My daughter, my oldest daughter, when she had formula, she had stomach issues. She had to eat. It's called Nutramigen, I think they call it. It's from pig. It's a pig product, and we had to give it to her. You can find that. Yeah, it's for her health. But you see what it is?
Yeah, I was going to say, gelatin, you got all kinds of stuff.
Gelatin is much easier though.
Well,
If we talk about gelatin, we'll kill the whole class. But gelatin is a very big criteria. Whatever. Gelatin's not as bad as it. We'll get to another point.
Recent.
Hakam Vadia.
I remember when it wasn't.
Yeah. Oh no, we're gonna get rid of the whole thing. Well, gelatin another time. That's a good idea for another time. Listen to this, guys. Nun hayat. Mutar la'asot halav mishkedim. You can make almond or nut milk with bashil basar off and cook chicken inside it. Oh, hold on. Marita ayin. Marita ayin. He read that. Because it's only midrabanan. Chicken is not real meat. But you want to cook steak with almond milk. Then you have to throw some almonds in the dish. So everyone knows that the milk is from almond milk.
They're making today engineered meat and they're serving.
That's good.
There is extra on cheeseburgers that are from engineered.
We have to go forward. However, even for chicken meal, you should really put some almonds there. If you want to drink almond milk after the meat dish,
He doesn't have to announce it.
Hold
He
on.
doesn't have to hold an almond in his hand and drink it.
You have to squeeze it really hard so the juice comes.
Hold on, one more. Guys, hold on. No, that's fine. If they made yabra or mahshi, they put the meat is inside the vegetable. Or halav synthetic, they eat it with non-dairy milk. For that dish, you don't have to put almonds. Why? Because the meat is not recognizable. It's inside something. Okay? So only a dish that has meat, real meat that you can see, and the milk, I would say, this is just me speaking now. I could be wrong. I would say the same thing by the milk. You have to be able to see the milk too. If you can't see the milk, what's going to Yeah. If it's a milky dish and there's meat, throw some almonds in there. Okay. The last thing I want to do today, because it's late, is I want to talk to you about cream cheese. And what I'm not teaching you, I'm asking. Cream cheese, by the way, vayikach hem'ah. This is the Perashah. Abraham Avinu, he served them. It says everyone translates hem'ah as cream. He gave them like heavy cream. Hem'ah now is butter in Israel, but it's hem'ah is cream in the Perashah.
Yeah, but it's cream of milk.
Cream cheese, butter really is cream because they take the cream from the top and they make it into butter. Cream cheese is how do you make cream cheese? With cream, which should be butter. I'm not saying this for a fact. I'm asking, isn't cream cheese butter? This is for the floor. Because cream cheese comes from whipping. No, it's made from butter. Butter, I think. Google it.
Cream cheese, הוא תהליך אחר.
Which category?
First thing, take the milk. First thing, take it.
No, they use the cream. They use the top part of the cream.
You can make
That's
butter.
butter.
From that gvina, you can make with it techema.
I'm not an expert. I want to know, what do you think? Is cream cheese butter or is cream cheese cheese? Because it makes a big difference.
But there's a bigger problem. Cheese. Bigger problem. If you're going to go to Watts, because it's cream cheese. Watts is a cream chema.
Why did it what?
Lots is raw. Okay, let's put that aside. I'm just asking, what do you think? Yeah.
How is it's not lactic acid is added.
Let's see.
Milk is not cooked. And cream, which lowers the mixture's pH and causes it to form curds. When the curds are heated and stabilizers are added, it becomes cream cheese. Cream cheese does not require.
How do you say cream cheese in Hebrew?
Doesn't say about it comes with butter.
Uncle Jack, it's cream cheese.
Butter for milk.
Cream cheese, butter, or it makes a big difference. If cream cheese, guys, if cream cheese is butter, it's allowed with lard.
It's closer to cottage cheese than it is to.
What's cottage cheese? Same question.
It's
got curds in it.
If you said it's made from milk, it's allowed. How do we know?
It's made from milk, it says. But it's got curds in it.
I don't know.
Different process to do it.
It seems more milky than butter.
כל השומן של החלב שמים בחלב.
So can we take a vote?
I don't know.
Yossi, what do you think it is? Cream cheese. Is it cheese or is it
the
butter?
worst vote ever.
That's
None of us has an idea.
We have to look it up.
If they have butter, you'll be better than cheese.
Read it again, Adam.
It's not
But hema, well, hold on. Hema is cream. Cream.
It's no, it's a
Hold on, one second. Adam, hold on. Adam, whipping cream. Hem'ah. The word hem'ah means cream, really. Whipping cream. What's that?
Whipping cream is
Is that not butter?
Can I
That's
mention
not-
something here?
Yeah.
Here, look, here we go. Made from a mixture of cream and milk, while butter is made from churning cream or milk. It's
the same thing.
fat and the
No, I gotta.
Same process.
This
Same
one's
thing.
clear. Butter is made from sweet cream and occasionally salt, while cream cheese is produced using milk, pasteurized cream, stabilizers, salt, and cheese culture.
What about
So it's much closer.
what about whipping cream? If I want to, that when they make like fettuccine Alfredo, or they put heavy cream in there, can I make a salmon Alfredo? It's heavy cream. What is that? Is it cream? Is it butter? Now the word
No,
hem'ah,
but Alfredo, they make out of,
heavy cream. What is heavy cream?
No milk.
heavy cream
How you
is,
do, you can do it,
Is heavy cream butter or milk? That's my question.
coconut.
No, I want to use the real one. No? Okay, so someone has to do research and
no,
give us
but
an answer.
it says
Seems more milky
It does
it's
seem
more cheese than,
or cheese.
it's more cheese. Cream cheese is cheese.
So you would say butter when the heter for butter is only butter. Don't expand it.
Me? You're
No.
asking me? No, I think it's all crazy.
Yalla. We have minyan. We have minyan. Ken. Rabbi Kaddish is Leilu Nishmat. Adam, what's Helen's mother's name again? Leilu Nishmat and Mordechai. I know. Helen, I apologize. I know she's watching this.
Okay, Hannah Gittel.
Chana Gittel Bat Mordechai Kaddish for her right now. Rabbi Hanan Rekasha Omer. והסגל וכו' לזכות את ישראל לפיכך. בא להם תורה מספור שנאמר, אדוני חפש למען סיכוי ילדי תורה וידיד.